Why did Michael Jackson spend $47.5 million to buy the Beatles songs? And why did it end with Paul McCartney saying he felt betrayed? Michael Jackson walked into a boardroom and bought the Beatles, not an instrument or a master tape, but the ownership of the songs themselves. In 1985, Michael Jackson wrote a check, $47.5 million, for ATV Music Publishing, and inside that company sat Northern Songs, the catalog listing Lennon, McCartney on nearly every page. Why would a man who sold out stadiums and defined a generation spend millions to own songs he didn't write? Most people reach for a simple answer: money. But this buy was more than a new revenue line. It was a turning point, a rare transaction that bent the future of how music is owned and licensed. Owning Northern Songs meant controlling who licensed Beatles songs into films, commercials, and cover versions. It meant recurring royalty streams and the right to decide how masterpieces were used. The deal on paper was straightforward. $47.5 million changed hands, and ATV, including the Lennon-McCartney catalog, left its sellers and entered Jackson's ownership. Beneath that headline lay corporate shifts, an ownership chain of investors that made the publishing arm vulnerable to sale the moment markets find an opening. A catalog becomes a commodity when its owners treat it as one, when art sits in the same ledger as other assets and shareholders vote on its fate. Jackson did not buy ATV by accident. He moved through intermediaries, advisors, and financing arrangements that translated cash and ambition into legal control. Those layers matter. They tell us whether this was a celebrity stunt, a savvy long-term investment, or both, and who in Jackson's orbit understood the authority he was buying. There was also personal fallout. Paul McCartney later said he felt blindsided, that he had discussed publishing with Jackson before the sale, and was surprised when Jackson walked away with the catalog. Whether McCartney could have prevented the sale is a technical question of corporate votes and counteroffers, but emotionally the act looked and felt like betrayal between artists. That tension between legal market transactions and creative stewardship is the story's moral axis. Songwriters see publishing as their claim on future earnings and legacy. When a performer buys that claim, lines blur. The transaction is lawful, but it reassigns cultural custody. Creators find themselves negotiating not only money, but dignity. The purchase revealed how powerful publishing income could be. Owning a catalog is recurring revenue that accumulates as songs are played, covered, sampled, and synchronized. Jackson acquired an appreciating intellectual property asset. That shift changed his balance sheet and elevated him from artist to an owner whose decisions could shape which songs earned and how. Ownership also creates vulnerability. 10 years after the ATV purchase, a new chapter began when Sony and Jackson combined forces to form Sony/ATV, and widely reported accounts say Sony acquired a 50% stake. That move recast Jackson's purchase. What began as a bold independent play became part of a corporate joint venture, amplifying market power but diluting the story of a lone superstar owning the Beatles. Why did that matter? Because the template was set. Once a superstar proved it was profitable to buy catalogs, other buyers and corporations followed. Publishing was no longer peripheral to the music business. It became the core around which empires were built. Jackson's $47.5 million was the opening move of that broader game. If you were Paul McCartney or any songwriter watching, that felt seismic. Artists began to read the market differently. Protect your publishing, sell it, or let it go and accept someone else's judgment. Those questions are not merely economic. They are about authorship and control of cultural memory. The industry's reaction was existential, not just technical. Consequences arrived in waves. In the short term, Jackson became one of the world's largest individual music publishers, gaining income long after a tour ended or a single fell from the charts. Those financial gains sparked debate. Was it ethical for an artist to profit from another artist's catalog? Did market transactions erode the moral claim creators had to their work? Over the long term, the ATV sale shaped a pattern we live with now. Publishing consolidation accelerated, catalogs were bought as predictable investments, and corporate structures multiplied. There is irony in the final twist. The legal architecture Jackson used to secure wealth also introduced forces that could erode his singular control, as the catalog became a corporate resource. Beyond balance sheets, the purchase shifted a broader conversation about cultural stewardship. When songs are tradable assets, legacies can be repackaged and monetized in ways that may not honor creators' intent. Questions about reversion rights, royalty transparency, and the ethics of catalog sales moved from backrooms into public debate, shaping law and industry practice. Who benefits when culture is turned into capital? The short answer is buyers who monetize, corporations that scale, and sometimes creators who cash out. The longer, harder answer is power. Ownership changes who gets to say yes or no to the uses of a song, and thus who curates cultural memory. That is not just accounting. We began with the question, why would Michael Jackson buy the Beatles? Surface reasons, recurring royalties, asset appreciation, prestige are all true. But the deeper shift is institutional. Jackson's purchase made visible a new reality. Songs could be assembled into portfolios that behave like capital, and that reality has governed deals ever since. There is a final irony with a bitter edge. A decision intended to magnify cultural influence effectively ceded a measure of cultural control to the market. In buying the Beatles, Jackson succeeded at something few entertainers achieve. He turned creative influence into enduring financial power, but he also helped convert masterpieces into tradable assets. That is why the purchase did not merely make Michael Jackson richer. It changed how the music business works, moving the center of gravity from the songwriter's pen to the owner's ledger. In that single shocking transaction, the moral economy of popular music, who benefits, who decides, who remembers, was altered forever. Ownership, it turned out, is not only about possession. It is about authority. And once authority is for sale, culture never looks the same again.